Good evening, everyone. Welcome to
Good
another
evening.
session on February. This month, we are having this only session for two reasons. One, we had three sessions in January, and February is a relatively shorter month. So, we are meeting first time this month, but we will continue our journey through the issue, which is Book 1, Canto 2. And last time, we were, just a second, I'll share the screen with you. I think we shared the last line which was with us was around her were the austere sky pointing hills. Are you able to see my screen yet?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. No, I didn't select it properly. Yes. Now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So one thing me and Freider realized last time when we were discussing the lines, that we by mistake took few lines which we already had discussed in the earlier session, and then we connected it to the next lines, and we felt that it was really good that we go back few lines and then connect it and then start discussing. This actually helped us, and also we came up with new understanding and new insights with reference to the new lines that we read. So these three lines, which are slightly gray, I hope you're able to see these.
Yeah, around where?
Yes, around her were the
Were
austere sky pointing hills, and the green murmurous broad deep thoughted woods, muttered incessantly their muffled spell. We already discussed these. These were the last lines we discussed. Please correct me, Freider, if I'm wrong. Did we discuss any further in this one, or was this the...
I think that was the last one, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we are on the right track so far then. So from here, we can continue. So anybody would like to take a lead to read few lines ahead as far as they feel like?
I can go ahead reading if you want.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
please.
A dense with starting with a dense magnificent or around here her were the austere sky pointing.
Sorry,
Where
start
do I
with
start?
around. Start with
Oh,
around.
okay. Right. Around her were the austere sky pointing hills and the green murmurous, broad, deep thought woods, potent woods, muttered incessantly with their muffled spell. A dense, magnificent, colored, self wrapped life, draped in the leaves, vivid emerald monotone, and set with checkered sunbeams and blithe flowers, immured her destiny's secluded sea. Want me to go ahead?
Yeah, it's up to you. Wherever you feel like stopping.
I think we'll discuss this.
Okay, sure. So we can... Yes, Frederick.
As when I remember last time, now we have the turn from Sri Aurobindo from the inner state of Savitri to the outer state of the surrounding. And he describing this also in that way of contradiction, because you see now Savitri is in a lot of trouble, no? She had in that moment. But the surrounding of her is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting part, how Sri Aurobindo now describing the nature. And these pictures are very beautiful. One can imagine what kind of landscape there are. It's middle in the beauty of the nature.
Yes, I think that's a very
And
Interesting
only
point.
the last
point.
sentence then he again mentioned and set with checkered sunbeams and blithe flowers emerged her destiny circulated scene.
Yeah.
I think that's the description.
Yes.
But the important point is that is the whole story in that moment, that Savitri is always alone, and there is no other human in that way who can help her in that situation. I think that, but this is why Sri Aurobindo described this, that the most important thing is to find the inner soul.
Yes. Yes. I think that was really prominent, what you just said.
Yeah.
I also noticed something like that, how beautifully he has described life around her. And then he brings us to the what is supposed to happen. So he will always take us out and show us the surrounding and bring us back to the present moment and what is about to come. It's always that we are swaying between the two emotions. Um, the third line, and set with checkered sunbeams and blithe flowers, stood out for me, especially checkered sunbeams. I never really heard this because sunbeams
With
are
sunbeam.
always direct. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I'm just a little puzzled by the checkered sunbeams over here. Maybe somebody in the if somebody's watching it on YouTube, they can shed some light on it and they can comment on it. But at this point, I'm just liking this particular line. It sounds really, really beautiful. But what also stood out for me that how irrelevant everything, despite it being so beautiful, how irrelevant it feels to Savitri right now, for the moment that she is facing, and how oblivious this beauty is towards what she is going through.
Correct. Right.
So I remembered one of the incidents where there was some road construction happening in Auroville, and in order to do that, they had to expand a little bit. So there were beautiful flower trees. Auroville has these beautiful flower trees where the small yellow flowers fall on the road. And in the springtime, the tree is full of flowers. And in the morning, you will see the road is full of yellow flowers. Very beautiful, pretty picture. One day, these people came and they had to widen the road and they had to remove some of the trees. And it was absolutely, we felt really sad because that was it was absolutely beautiful sight to just go and walk on that road every morning. And next day, those trees are just not there. But those who were there, you could see that the patches were even full yellow, you know. So trees are living beings, but that kind of somewhere gave me a message that, whatever is your work that you're supposed to do, you have to be so unaffected by what is happening around you and focus solely on what is it that you need to do. However, that's not the message that comes through this line. It seems like, the beauty of the nature is there despite what is your mental state. It's
Yeah,
matters
exactly.
heavily on your perspective, that are you in the state to receive it, or it feels burdensome. So very beautiful,
Yeah,
very beautiful.
of course. Yeah, so nature takes no care about your problems. So it's always beautiful. Let's say.
Yes, it's always beautiful, it's always dynamic,
But it's
colorful.
also the contradiction what we have also to see. So because nature is not always,
Yes.
let's
It's
say,
brutal also sometimes.
it's also rude. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that there are some famous pictures in Western Europe where you can see some people sitting outside and sitting in the wood and eating something. So and they are completely happy and they're lying there. And but then the reality, then ants coming, then you find ants scratching it. It's
Yes,
not comfortable.
it's not comfortable. Yes, it comes with its own challenges. It comes with
Yes.
its own challenges. That's true. Amitaji, anything you want to share on these lines?
No, I liked what Freider said was about like the how the outer beauty where he's comparing means how she's not affected means her inner state is very different from the outer state.
Yes, yes, there's a
So how
huge
Mm.
beautiful that has
contradiction.
been mentioned, that's really comes out. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
So should we read ahead then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, no, either you or me, Freda. What would you like to do? Shall I go ahead? Or
Yeah.
would you like to read? Okay. There had she grown to the stature of her spirit, the genius of titanic silences, sleeping her soul in its wide loneliness, had shown to her herself's bare reality and mated her with her environment. Its solitude greatened her human hours with a background of the eternal and unique.
Yeah, I think that that's now also a fast turn from Sri Aurobindo to the uh, completely inner side.
Yeah, yeah. What does it mean by the genius of titanic silences? I'm slightly confused here.
Mm.
There
So
had she.
I think that meaning uh, comes of the importance of silence.
I
Okay.
feel that not much was going inside her at this point of time. Means she's already so it is a deep silence within her. She
Yeah,
had
but
yeah because there's connect the previous line is connecting with her stature of spirit. So within her, it's the silence is great.
There had she grown to the stature of her spirit, the genius of titanic silences.
Titanic
Sounds
silences.
quite huge.
Yeah,
Genius
quite.
of titanic silences.
I
Steeping.
think
Yeah,
when
please.
we understand, when we understand that silence is one of the most important, let's say, status by Sri Aurobindo, and therefore I think he mentioned that combination, that is the genius of titanic silence. Um, so with this silence, we can, let's say, um, discover everything. So silence is the ground for everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's not considered as her weakness. She's not confused, as we know. She's quite clear. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
the
no.
silence is, yeah, maybe the silence is the
Is within
the
her.
yes, it's the most required
Yeah,
grounding that is what is she about to build on? I think that is feels like
correct.
it's built upon the vast silence that she feels within her.
Yeah, and now when we remember now in that situation, and now she has to find in herself the silence,
Hmm.
and only by that movement she has to come over the fear, and later we will see, or there is this discussion with a voice, or let's say is with the divine, where she said, "What should I do?" And in the beginning, she thinking, I can do anything about it, and then that voice said, "No, find out your soul, recover your high self," and I think that is an important change,
Yes.
and therefore the genius of the Titanic
Titanic
silence is
silence.
Titanic silence is
Yeah.
most important.
Yes. Because see, there is this line which intrigues me. Its solitude greatened her human hours. So
Need something with it?
it's
Mhm.
its solitude greatened her human hours with a background of the eternal and unique.
Yes.
And that is
And here you
interwoven
have also that contradiction, also eternal and unique.
and
No? But
yeah.
no, sorry about that. That is in the moment not a contradiction, but that's what he describing as the background of us. It's eternal and on the same time unique. That's also quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Silence is quite powerful. I mean, it's the one of the hardest things to achieve, even for us as a human,
Of course, yeah.
especially the mental silence, you know.
Mm.
So we are always talking, even if we are silent. We are not speaking actively, but we always speak with ourselves. And having that state, even a moment of complete silence, I can imagine it can be really, it seems like an eternity in itself.
Mm.
So its solitude greatened her human hours because she is now face to face with her own bare reality. You know, she's one with the environment and her. She realized that she's part of that whole system.
Mhm.
She's part of the whole environment, whole ecosystem, that space, that time, that moment, and she absolutely feels herself there and mated her with her environment. And at the same time, she is also in such a great trance that she has to face her bare self, the reality of what is right now and who she is also. And it sounds like everything is happening so fast, but at the same time, this line, its solitude greatened her human hours, feels like it's really long, you know,
Yes, yes.
at the same time. So, yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will
Okay, please.
pick a force of space direct necessity reduced the heavy framework of man's days and his overburdening mass of outward needs to a first thin strip of simple animal wants and the mighty wideness of the primitive earth and the brooding multitude of patient trees and the musing sapphire leisures of the sky and the solemn weight of the slowly passing month had left in her deep room for thought and God.
Very beautiful.
So you have also quite often in Savitri then that he continues to repeat and the and then you have something which gets more and more. So,
Yeah. About 3, 4 lines. And his overburdening mass of outward
mm,
needs, and the mighty wildness of primitive earth, and the brooding multitude of patient trees,
right.
using sapphire lasers. So solemn weight of slowly passing months, had left in her deep room for thought and God. Very interesting. Seems like a puzzle. It sounds like a puzzle.
Mm. And then, of course, the last sentence,
Yeah, I was just
all
about
that
to.
things uh, left in her deep room for thought and God. So this combination of thought and God is, in that case, in that way interesting, because before there was that silence.
Yeah.
But of course, it's
It
now,
seems
let's say, after the silence, then
it
the thought
feels like,
can
yeah,
combined
I mean, yeah.
with God. I think that's
It
what he
it
want to
feels to me
mention.
like till now for me it felt like these lines, no? Where a solid eternal and unique, with a background of eternal and unique. Then destinies no. Uh, Measure fathomless something. So there are, for now they have been talking about this huge vast fathomless, something that you cannot conquer, something beyond the measure of time and space. And suddenly this particular passage talks about very basic earthly things, something that everybody experiences, the needs of us, living beings living on a planet Earth, where we do
Mm,
have our needs and how we feel burdened by it, and the wants, and whatever is, I mean, he expresses it. So everything suddenly comes from eternal, vast, fathomless. Suddenly it comes to this capsule of, earth's, everything comes under the gamut of earth and earthly functioning of things.
mm,
And ironically, again, these things left in her deep room for thought and God, which is again a contradiction, I feel, because it's somewhere, it's, God himself is fathomless, like it's beyond, if we call it,
yes.
all this. But it took her to recognize the earthly forces which we all feel as human beings, as living beings, needs and wants and everything else, necessities. Uh, that is something that is directing her to think about,
Hmm.
and not just think about, but think about God. And then the next line for me was very intriguing. There was her drama's radiant prologue lived. So she's caught up between the something that is uh, on this earth and something that is beyond. Feels like she is uh,
Mm,
on a cusp, you know, of here and then, in between. So, radiant prologue is something that you kind of, you give a prologue, when you want to introduce something and give an idea of about what is going to happen in overall. Let's say if you have a function or there is a drama, you give a
Mm.
prologue on what to expect, like a short summary of things. That what exactly is going to happen and what to expect out of this particular drama or a play. And the line which says, "There was her drama's radiant prologue lived," uh, everything, all the different feelings that we are looking at, you know, uh, because she, even though she is a divine soul herself, she's yet to recognize herself. So she's also bound by Prakriti, what we call it, what Sri Aurobindo calls a Prakriti.
Mhm.
But then she's also recognizing something that people like us cannot, having that sense of clarity and having that absolute presence of mind with absolute silence within her, and the
Mm.
bravery to force us to face her own self. It's I think it's very powerful so far.
Mm. Mhm. Well,
Should we move on, or should we, if there's
yes.
anything? Yeah, Amitaji, you want to go ahead with
Yeah.
that?
A spot for the eternal tread on earth, set in the claustral yearning of the woods, and watched by the aspiration of the peaks, appeared through an aureate opening in time, where stillness listening felt the unspoken word, and the hours forgot to pass towards grief and change. This is more like talking about the surroundings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that
Like,
could be one way of looking.
yeah,
But
like even when we are talking about the previous lines, I felt that it was like what was more important for her at this point of time was like her daily needs were not so much mattered rather than what she was now connecting with the thought, and they were far below than what was going on in her mind at that point of time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
mhm.
Yeah, that could be one thought, definitely.
Yeah,
But I
But
feel that there is
it's
more to these
yeah.
lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, there's more to it.
Yeah, but it's also more now coming to the inner states, and it seems that Sri Aurobindo has this connection also with Savitri. But now, what was her feeling? And also, most interesting, the last sentence then, and the hours forgot to
Forgot.
pass towards grief and change. No? So that means by herself
Yeah.
in that silence, she forgot what to
Yes.
do. No? And
That
what
could be
is the
one.
change? No?
Yeah. Yeah. What stood out for me is the third line, "and watched by the aspiration of the peaks." Does this
Mhm.
peaks means the mountain peaks? Like what came in front of me was the snowy peaks of the mountains, no?
Mm.
Yeah, because they're as of now talking about the surroundings around her.
That could be,
Yearning of the
yes.
woods, aspiration of the peaks, or it opening in time.
Yes. Yes. But I feel there is
Yeah.
also some sense of hidden meaning beyond this particular
Yes,
passage.
definitely. It is like
That's,
connecting to the
but I'm
inner,
not able
where
to,
stillness, yeah, where stillness
yeah.
listening felt the unspoken word. It's
What
such
I
a
could,
deep, uh,
yes, I can share
where
something
stillness
about this line where stillness
uh,
listening felt the unspoken
felt the
word.
unspoken
Yeah.
word.
Mhm.
In Mantra Shastra, the unspoken word is called as Para Vak. Sri Aurobindo also talks about the different types of vaks, like sound, right? So there are different four types of sounds. One of the sound that can be heard by other people when I speak, and I can, or my ears can also hear, and you can also hear. That is called a Vaikhari Vak, which is the last part, which is a very superficial form of the Vak. But when you go deeper and deeper within you, then you reach Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Para. And Para Vak is a kind of a Vak. Vak means dhvani or sound, which doesn't have a form. There is no sound, so it's an unmanifested sound
Mm.
which goes with unspoken word. So that relevance came to me, where stillness listening felt the
Feeling
unspoken word.
unspoken word. Correct.
So this is
So
beyond. Yes, please.
I watched out if he also used if Sri Aurobindo used unspoken word in other contexts in Savitri, and we can find four sentences where he also mentioned that unspoken word.
Oh, okay, okay. Should I stop sharing my screen? Maybe if you want to share your screen.
Yes, we can
Okay,
look. I think it's
sure,
let's see
sure.
if but it's in the beginning, then I will share. You can see it now.
Your screen is visible, but nothing can be read.
You can see the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And here you see that was the sentence where we read, and now there is the sentence: in all things she thought, in their slumbering mystic truths, the unspoken word that inspires unconscious forms,
Unconscious forms. Yes.
unconscious forms.
Yeah.
And the last one also here: hope not to be happy in a world of pain, and dream not listening to the unspoken word.
Yeah. So when I was doing this transcendental meditation of Om last
Yes.
couple of weeks, so I'm a part of a weekly mantra. I'm learning mantra myself because I'm very interested in understanding the architecture of the mantra itself, the phonetics part of it, and how exactly the sound vibrations, what kind of effect it is causing on our body. So, what we do in transcendental meditation is we say the Omkar and we feel it at the top of the palate. And then
Mhm.
from there, we take it down to the throat. And then we walk down the spine. So it goes through your heart. So here, definitely, you're not able to say Om, but you can only say Ha. And when you reach your navel, you're not even able to say anything, but you can just breathe out. And when you
Mm.
even go down at the tip of the spine, at the bottom part of it, you realize that there is not even a thought of Om, just the presence. And that is the experience of Paravak or the unspoken word. And then the breathing comes in the picture where you can only breathe out, just say, just breathe out. That gives the form to the Omkar or any word for that matter. We try it with Om. And then slowly the sound comes. When the spandana or the vibration, when you're able to create vibrations, then slowly the sound is created. Right? This unspoken word is it's but what I'm curious to know is this unspoken word something that has been created or self-manifested?
In the moment, how Sri Aurobindo is using that
Yeah,
unspoken
that's what I'm
word, I
curious
think
to know. Yeah.
we cannot say so much, no? Because
Yeah.
I think here that sentence is the most clear, the
Yeah.
unspoken word that inspires the unconscious forms.
Yeah.
So it has also a relation with our unconsciousness and
Yeah.
can create something in us.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
he not used it much more in Savitri. So
Right.
therefore, it seems that for him it's not so important, because on another sentence he used mantra.
He used mantra?
So in Savitri he used mantra.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like that. It's only one sentence.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh, very
so
peaceful.
that is the sentence: as when the mantra sings in yoga's ears, its message enters, stirring the blind brain, and keeps in the dim, ignorant cells is sound.
Wow. I want to find out where is this line, which canto is this? Is there any way we can, it
Yeah,
shows, no?
it's the
Yeah.
Canto, the call to the quest,
Call to the
and
quest.
page 401
401.
in that it's I think it's before, it's 385. So it
Mhm.
depends on which
Yeah.
yeah
But it all starts with
book you have.
unmanifested sound, whether it's mantra or the spoken word or thought,
Yeah.
even the
So
thought.
exactly, but I think for him, so the unspoken word is it's not so strong as, for example, the mantra, and then later, I think what you also can found a lot is sound. So we have 57 um, pages, no, not pages,
Sentences.
sentence where you can find sound.
Right. Right.
So for him, it seems sound in that way is more important.
Yes.
And when you um, singing or Om, then is also the inner sound also most important.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Wonderful. So we'll go back to
Yes.
the lines. We were here. Where stillness listening felt unspoken word. So here a spot for eternal tread on earth. A spot for the eternal tread on earth. Set in the cloistral yarning of the woods. And watched by the aspiration on of the peaks. Appeared through an aurate opening in time. Aurate means golden, very, very beautiful. Opening in time, where stillness listening again, felt the unspoken word. There's only the feeling of the unspoken word, and it's felt by the stillness, because the stillness itself is listening.
Mm.
and the hours forgot to pass towards grief and change. So it's a specifically happening. If we read it in reverse, then the unspoken word is felt by the stillness which is listening,
Mhm.
the stillness that appeared through the opening in time.
Mm.
And this, everything that is happening is watched by the aspiration of the peaks.
Mm.
And this whole scenario is set in the cloistral yarning of the woods
Mm.
on a spot where the eternal decided to trade on earth. Very
You
interesting if
see,
we
now
do it.
Right.
comes this simple question.
Yeah.
Why happened this not middle in the city? So why Satyavan not is dying middle in the city?
Too much commotion there.
The thing is, what I feel about the main difference between the nature and the city life is what is the difference between something static and dynamic.
Right.
We have we
And
have we have made things very static in the city. We made it very permanent. Nature is quite dynamic, ever changing. So the real beauty is in spontaneity, or in the constant change that is happening. That's what makes nature dynamic. So, but
mm.
maybe I'm not answering the question fully. Maybe I drifted away. So sorry for that.
No, I believe it's also because nature and the power of nature and the power of the beauty is one important step for the opening
Yes.
of Savitri.
Yes.
And I think that's one reason why he puts everything there inside. As I explained, it's not the interaction with humans which helped in the end Savitri.
No. It's the
Uh,
silence that she received in the bosom of nature is
yeah,
what is absolutely, absolutely.
exactly. I think
So,
that was the important for Sri Aurobindo to mention that
yeah,
uh, to have also the feeling of how call this um, clearness and untouched uh, surrounding. Mm.
yeah,
And there is also no animal, also interesting, no?
yeah. Mm.
So it's no cat watching and or
Yeah.
a
I mean,
bird is
I think
flying around
what Sri
in
Aurobindo
that
says
moment.
is that the journey that he wants humanity to take towards the supramental consciousness. So he's
Yes.
asking us to go beyond the mental realm, and he's asking us to work towards becoming that supramental consciousness. I feel that will only be achieved if you have a complete harmony within yourself, all the parts of being, like physical, emotional, mental. And one of the easiest ways of achieving that harmony is by being one with the nature.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to go in solitude, but your everyday life, when it's a part of an ecosystem, when you truly live as a part of an ecosystem, no? You're living among animals and trees, and your feet are touching the soil every day, and there is a purity in everything around you, which also brings beauty. It naturally harmonizes you, and it naturally makes the way easier for the growth of the consciousness. I think it's very, very important. that
we
we
are a
feel.
little bit to simplify it,
Yes, yes,
that idea of nature, as I explained in the picture before, and so. But what was interesting that scientists find out, and they did a study, I think in some cities, and they found out if it's a tree around the house, then people will live longer and healthy inside the
very,
city. So it's not
very,
necessary that you completely in nature, but if you have close to you a tree, or let's say uh, something similar, then it seems that this reacts in us, and
yes,
that feeling helps us.
absolutely. I think the one of the whatever biggest problems we are facing these days, whatever huge problems we are facing as a humanity, the solutions are quite simple actually, but they're very hard to implement. What you said about being in nature, like even if trees are there, one human can live longer. Not just that, a human can live healthier without falling sick. It doesn't matter even the nature is extreme. That experience we have had when we were living on a farmland, and me being the weakest human being on the planet Earth, where even the breeze comes and I sneeze and I fall sick. That's the kind of immunity I had when I was growing up. When I shifted on a farm, the overall, like, I would walk in the sun without getting headaches. I would drink fresh water, which was in the back of the pool. I would eat a carrot right plucked out of the soil, and
Mhm.
that did wonders to my body. The life was extremely simple, no luxury at all, at all. There were not even floors on the. We would have to use the soiled, cow dung floor we would make. So
Mm.
it was a lot of hard work, but the amount of alignment it had just by being near the rocks and the grass and the trees and the soil, and nothing fancy at all. A simple life with rhythm set with the sunrise and sunset,
Mm.
with absolute less noise pollution, which was one of the biggest things I feel, that which helps the silence. It does wonders to your health, and does wonders. Definitely, you live a long life, no doubt. Even if you don't live a long life, I would say that you definitely end up living a
Quality life.
quality life.
Life, yeah.
But we have to be careful about it in that sentence, no? Because nature can be also very noisy.
Absolutely,
Now
absolutely.
it depends where you are, and then we can observe what our mind is making out of that.
Yes. So,
So
I think the human life is all about achieving that golden ratio, that you protect yourself enough so that you can be safe from the brutality of the nature, because nature can be brutal. But
yes,
then don't go so far beyond that you're absolutely cutting yourself off from the nature. So that golden ratio is somewhere we need to achieve. Once we achieve that, you're a part of a nature, and yet you are, careful enough to keep yourself safe from everything that can go up,
yeah,
down.
exactly. I think that that's a good point, and that we can or that we understand what really matters in that way of the nature. No? When we look
Yeah.
at trees, for example, and
Yeah.
we can change our cities very simple in that way. No?
Yes. Yes.
Um,
I think simplicity, this is something I feel in Auroville also. The
yeah.
simplicity of Auroville is absolutely beautiful.
Mm,
And people live in a simple way. The structures they have built, they're quite simple, but you go there and you feel like, wow, you have
mm,
that feeling of vastness. Even if you go inside Matru Mandir, there is barely anything. There's nothing.
mm,
But it's so
mm.
beautiful with so little, what, so much thought has been put into it. So Auroville carries that thought, I feel, somewhere. of having simplicity and beauty and grace. I mean, they absolutely have, they are living those values, you know.
Mm.
It's
But
beautiful.
of
I
course, there are
think
also some times which it's not so easy for the body.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It comes with
Mm.
its own challenges. But as we see, you know, that we must endure. That's what mother used to say. We must endure, and we should learn from the tree which doesn't stop flowering when the time comes. It doesn't matter what you do to the tree. If the tree is alive, then it will keep doing its karma, what it's supposed to do.
Mm.
It doesn't, it's not bothered. Oh, last time you hit me, you didn't give me enough water, so this time I'll not give you fruits. That doesn't happen with the tree. It'll
Yeah.
go let it rest.
We say
No
one
That's
word
good.
for it is that paropkar.
paropkar, yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
eh,
No attachments, but yet so
ah,
full of giving. No
And
expectations also.
in
Yeah.
that sentence, what we read was also the hint of the, I think one of the first hint of the supramental opening, as you mentioned
Yeah.
also, Aureate
Or yet
opening
opening in time.
in time. So there we get the glimpse what could be behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Curious to know how that unfolds in the poem.
Hmm.
So I think we'll stop here today, if that's okay with both of you.
yeah.
Sorry
Mhm.
for all the noises and a lot of drinking water. I've been not feeling well the past 2 days, but
Hmm.
I'm glad that you could
We
understand what
still
I
had,
was saying.
yeah, we
Yes.
still were able to join.
I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful that you
yeah.
understood me today. I was
Uh,
down.
But I like the
So,
way you read it behind, when you went backwards, it explains so
yeah,
much.
it's becomes easy, no?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for this particular passage,
It passage,
it's
yeah,
like
it for making sense also.
that's true.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. So, before we should we next time should we meet on 6th March, which is
Mhm.
the second Friday from today. So 15 days from today. 6th of March. Is that
Mhm.
okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
good enough.
Great. Perfect. And we will take from where which should what should we take? Should we
Yeah,
take
you're with the
This one.
suddenness.
Yeah.
this one, a spot for the eternal strain on earth? We should take this passage again,
Yeah. Then we can
That,
also
and then we
take
connect
this.
it. Okay. That's what we are doing, Amitaji. So we
yeah,
have
right,
already
that's fine.
discussed this and then we
Yeah,
take again.
yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you so much for
Okay.
joining us.
Thank,
Bye bye. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you.